I urge you all to see the Shakka Zulus series on BBC. I think they have it on Netflix. Okay, it's an old series. You should buy it if you have to, no matter how much it costs. The last time I saw it, they're charging some astronomical fee. Okay, this video is about Shaka and what caused him to give himself up in the end of the movie. But first, let's talk about a synonym for selfish. A synonym for selfish is inconsiderate, insensitive. Okay, instead of having this selfless, profound love, they're selfish, insensitive. Instead of honing the senses as a falcon, okay, you got to make the distinction between every martial arts system. There's like 400 million people or so that practice Taekwondo. Okay, are they trying to restore the divine order and get to the core of righteousness? No, they're just trying to learn to do flashy moves and impress each other. Okay, and maybe do some sports tournament, which is not the same as true martial arts. So you have to make this distinction. Even though the movie Shaka Zulu was not about martial art techniques, it was more about something that people would mistake for warfare. It was about a martial arts order. They just didn't explore that enough. The spear that was forged, right? He went as far as to forge his own spear and change the weapons they were using, change the form they would use, have feet on terrain instead of sandals. Okay, they would run around and get in perfect shape, and they were high strung. They weren't balancing their chi; they were high strung. Okay, they were flying above the world is the idea. Okay, but he limited it with his philosophy. Long story as to why that is. All right. So let's first go over the sayings he said. They make it obvious that he didn't go crazy. Because my mom's a doctor. She was a national merit scholar. Okay, she said that the movie was about him going crazy. I was actually right. She was wrong. The movie was about him having valid complaints. It's also, she's a white lady, right? This is the Western, no matter how much PhD the Westerners have, they don't understand African martial arts culture. They don't, or they would obey me. They don't understand God. They don't understand African martial art culture. The God is an idea that comes from Africa that took on various forms as it left. They don't understand God. And the reason why is because they don't understand African martial arts culture. If they did, they would obey. And after I'm gone, there's no chance, no matter what I say, that they'll ever understand it, because Pharaoh is the only one, as it says in their own Western books, who understands the cycle. Let me read this for you. No one but Pharaoh could claim to identify with the splendor of the cycle of the sun's death and rebirth. No one but Pharaoh could understand God's symbol. Psalms 19, okay? Where the sun is the bridegroom, the heavens declare the glory of God. No one but the top martial artist could understand the cycle of the sun. Then they replaced them with magic card bitches and kind of Jafar from Aladdin kind of devils. Okay? Now that we cover that, Shaka Zulu was also superimposed on the idea of Pharaoh, but no doubt he was a man of spiritual prowess. He just didn't have the true divine spirit in him. Okay? It's a long story why that is. All right. So one thing he says is, I accept this spear and shield, symbols that make me a Zulu warrior, but this I will take by force. It was basically his symbol of his royal kind of lineage, and him replacing the king when he dies. He says, this I will take by force, as I have made everything that I am by force. He had transcended the martial arts system. He said that he's going to do it his way. He's going to do martial arts his way. He's going to come back. He's going to take over the Zulu tribe and take his rightful place, because they didn't make his mother a royal wife. Okay. So why did he accept the symbols that make him a Zulu warrior? Because this is important. His African heritage, his intangible African heritage is important. Their abuse of the martial arts system needed to be challenged. This guy challenges his own tribe's martial arts system. Okay? You can see strong parallels between that and what I was forced to do, as everyone has taken on a Western and kind of globalist, yuppie, cultural bitch attitude toward martial arts. Everyone else. All right. Another thing he says, where were you when we nearly died of hunger? To his father. Persecuted by the scum of this land. Now that your calf has grown to be a bull with horns, you want him in your royal house? Okay, that's what he said before. He says, I accept this spear and shield. Okay, persecuted by the scum of this land. And this was during a manhood ritual. Okay, this ritual will make you, you'll accept a netto. This ritual or something like that, right? This ritual will make you the shield of Amazul. Okay, the defenders of the Zulu culture, martial art culture, and the accompanying tribe, because the martial art culture was the center of the tribe. It's a warrior king with a generational spear, as was it with Egypt. The true Egyptian culture is just like every other African culture, basically, where they had a martial arts order. If you miss that, you don't know a fucking thing about Egypt. I don't care if you know every pharaoh's name by heart. I don't care if you know more of the facts about Egypt than anyone else. Okay, if you don't understand the true martial art message of Egypt, you may as well go fucking knit, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so it is with this Bible. It was based on martial arts culture. David and Goliath. If you don't understand martial arts culture, you don't understand what you're talking about. If you don't obey me, you don't understand. Doesn't matter how many facts you know. Doesn't matter if you can do the splits. Doesn't even matter if you can do 3 flips and fucking a jump spin kick before you hit the ground. If you don't obey me, you're just an anime fan type bitch playing martial artist. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no honor, no discipline, no honesty, no determination, no basic martial art principles. You don't have a willingness to accept and respect me and my right to lead. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know the first rule, 1A, alpha. You don't know the first thing about martial arts. Anyway, so who gives a fuck what else you know? All right. So another thing he said is, if my mother isn't a royal wife, so his identity, God revealed himself to Moses, I am who I am. He said, if my mom is not a royal wife, I know no man by the name of Samanako Manajon, or whatever this guy's name is. Okay? By his father. So what is he mad about? You know, they're not respecting his martial art lineage, including his mother, right? His family, his family lineage and heritage. You're not doing the system right, because you don't know the fuck I am. And then you have the nerve to say, no one's heard of you. No one's heard of me because you're all dishonorable cowards. You're all racist, African hero-shunning, corporate yuppie pussies. How can you then turn around and say, well, no one's heard of you? Nothing should be done until you give me my respect and my right to lead. Not a belt should be put on. Not a studio should be built until I'm in fucking charge. How dare you say no one has heard of you? You fucking cowards. You despicable betas. His intangible heritage. Persecuted. Then you have the nerve to persecute me, and all you pussies not coming to me, not rallying to the standard, the leopard standard? You sniveling worms. You whiny, scared little women. Go rear children. Don't do martial arts. Go raise Western spoiled brat yuppies. You don't know what you're doing with martial arts, but you know how to be a Western pussy. You've demonstrated that masterfully. Fucking cowards. Anyway. He also says, love. Love. We are incapable of that emotion. All that we feel, all we ever felt is vengeance and hate. Why? Is it some genetic insufficiency? No. His mother and their father had their romantic fling. You know, not that form of love, at least. You know, this kind of natural love. It wasn't in the divine order, but it was close enough, you know. It's not true love, I wouldn't say, but it was some kind of love that allowed them to have their moment. Then he didn't love her enough to accept her after that. He was too concerned with his pride. That love didn't put righteousness first, so he rejected the mother of his child, and it created the Shakka Zulu problem. In a sense, God had punished him for his lack of true love. Shakka Zulu's father, that is. Okay. Then later, when he's getting revenge, his grandmother dies of starvation and exhaustion. Ironically, you know, kind of, because I brought up Zulu before this happened, they killed my grandma in a way with plausible deniability. And everyone in Gangstar, everyone involved in this knows that they killed my grandma. Okay. So he basically says to these people, you know, obviously that's what I will say to the world, right, when they're being punished, you know. Starvation and exhaustion. A horrible way to die, especially for an old woman. What if it had been your grandmother? And then he has him impaled, right? They're like, oh, they're going like this. He has him impaled. He has him killed. Okay, it was the closest thing to justice, right? In any movie, perhaps. All right. Then at the end, toward the end, he says, how do you trap a monkey? You give him something shiny. And they tried to reason with him. They said, no, Shakka. The leopard's kingdom is of the earth. On the earth, he is the master. In the skies, he becomes a victim. If the whites offer you wings, it's because they want to make you their victim. And of course, the falcon has wings. So this emphasizes that he's more of a set kind of guy. He's Set running around with a leopard spirit. He's Set and the jackal and the elephant mixed together, and not the leopard and the falcon, the peregrine falcon. Okay. So then of course there's you are Zulu. You possess the heavens. Okay. So there's this angle, and there's also when he makes the spear, he says, "Now take this spear, and with it, cast your powers." Like he said, like the sun, cast your powers to the ends of this earth. So what do you see in this movie? You see a lot of the things that I'm talking about in a lesser form. I would have outmaneuvered Shakka, and I would have cut him open in single combat, and I would be king of kings. Okay.